Hey everyone! Welcome to Top 5 in USA, the channel where we bring you the most fascinating, surprising, and entertaining top 5 lists about everything in America. From the safest cities and most delicious burger chains to historic events and famous landmarks, we cover it all. If you love discovering the best of the USA, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss our weekly countdowns. Alright, let's dive right into today's top 5 list. You won't want to miss number 1. From the Declaration of Independence to the Civil Rights Movement, the history of the United States is filled with events that shaped the nation and the world. In this video, we count down the top 5 most important events in U.S. history that changed the course of the country forever. United States. Discover the moments that defined freedom, democracy, and progress in America's story. Whether you're a history buff, a student, or just curious about how the USA became what it is today, this countdown will give you the highlights of America's most defining moments. Number 5. Civil Rights Movement, 1950s, 1960s. In the 1950s and 1960s, a powerful movement swept across the United States, forever changing the nation. This was the Civil Rights Movement, a fight to end racial segregation and secure equal rights for African Americans. It all sparked major attention in 1955, when Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat to a white passenger in Montgomery, Alabama. Her courage led to the Montgomery bus boycott, organized by a young pastor named Martin Luther King Jr. This boycott lasted over a year and became a symbol of nonviolent resistance. Throughout the 1960s, Dr. King and countless activists led marches, protests, and sit-ins. One of the most iconic moments came in 1963, at the March on Washington, where Dr. King delivered his legendary, "I Have a Dream" speech, calling for racial equality and justice. These efforts led to landmark victories: the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which ended segregation in public places, and the Voting Rights Act of 1965, which protected the right to vote for African Americans. The civil rights movement not only transformed the United States but also inspired human rights movements worldwide. It remains a reminder that the fight for justice and equality can change history. Number 4. World War II and U.S. emergence as a superpower, 1941 to 1945. December 7, 1941, a day that would change America forever. When Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, the United States was thrust into World War II, a conflict that would not only reshape the world but also transform the U.S. into a global superpower. Almost overnight, the nation mobilized. Factories shifted from cars to tanks and planes, while millions of Americans joined the armed forces. The U.S. became the arsenal of democracy, supplying weapons and resources to the Allies and fueling the fight against tyranny. From D-Day in Normandy to the island-hopping campaigns in the Pacific, American forces played a critical role in defeating Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan. By 1945, the U.S. had emerged victorious, and with its economic might and military strength, it stood as the dominant world power. The war ended with the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, a sobering display of U.S. military power. After World War II, the U.S. entered an era of global influence, shaping world politics, rebuilding Europe through the Marshall Plan, and stepping into the Cold War as a leader on the global stage. World War II didn't just end a global conflict, it marked the birth of the modern United States as a superpower, with responsibilities and influence that continue to this day. Number 3. Great Depression and New Deal, 1929 to 1939. October 29, 1929, Black Tuesday. The U.S. stock market crashed, wiping out fortunes overnight and plunging the country into the Great Depression, the worst economic crisis in American history. Banks collapsed, businesses shut down, and millions of Americans lost their jobs and homes. Across the country, soup kitchens and breadlines became a lifeline for struggling families, while farmers faced the Dust Bowl, a devastating drought that turned fertile lands to dust. In 1933, Franklin D. Roosevelt became president and launched the New Deal, a series of programs and reforms aimed at relief, recovery, and reform. From creating millions of jobs to establishing Social Security, the New Deal gave hope to a nation in crisis. Projects like the Tennessee Valley Authority and Civilian Conservation Corps didn't just put people back to work, they modernized America's infrastructure and reshaped the government's role in the economy. The Great Depression tested the strength of the nation, but the New Deal proved that with resilience and innovation, the U.S. could overcome even the darkest economic times. Number 2. U.S. Civil War and Emancipation, 1861 to 1865. From 1861 to 1865, the United States was torn apart by the Civil War, a brutal conflict that would decide the fate of the nation and the future of slavery in America. The war began when 11 Southern states seceded from the Union to form the Confederacy, defending slavery as their way of life. President Abraham Lincoln vowed to preserve the Union, and soon, the country was engulfed in a bloody, 4-year war. The Civil War saw some of the deadliest battles in U.S. history, including Gettysburg and Antietam. Over 600,000 Americans lost their lives, making it the nation's deadliest conflict ever. In 1863, Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, declaring that enslaved people in Confederate states were free. This transformed the war into a fight for freedom and human rights. By 1865, the Union emerged victorious, the Confederacy collapsed, and the 13th Amendment officially abolished slavery. The war had saved the United States and set the stage for the long fight for civil rights. The U.S. Civil War and Emancipation not only preserved the Union but also redefined the nation's core values of freedom and equality, leaving a legacy that still shapes America today. Number 1. Declaration of Independence, 1776. July 4, 1776, a day that forever changed the world. In Philadelphia, representatives from 13 colonies gathered to declare something bold and unprecedented: the United States would be free from British rule. Led by Thomas Jefferson, the Continental Congress drafted the Declaration of Independence, a powerful document that announced the colonies were breaking away from King George III. Its words were revolutionary: all men are created equal, with the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. When the delegates signed the declaration on July 4th, they weren't just creating a new nation, they were risking their lives. To the British Crown, this was treason, punishable by death. The declaration inspired American soldiers to fight for independence and became a symbol of freedom and democracy around the world. It marked the official birth of the United States of America. The Declaration of Independence wasn't just a document, it was the first step toward building a nation based on liberty, and its message still echoes across the globe today. And there you have it, our top 5 most important events in U.S. history. If you enjoyed this countdown, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Top 5 in USA, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our next Top 5 adventure across American history, culture, and lifestyle.